Hi, I'm Lori Adams, your 2026 president of the Buffalo Niagara Association of Realtors. Last week, we brought in Brandy Snowden from NAR. I want to share a quick snapshot of the information she provided regarding today's homebuyers and sellers and what these trends mean for our industry and our clients. Let's start with the big picture. Existing home sales have stabilized, but they remain below historical averages due to limited inventory and higher interest rates. At the same time, median home prices continue to hold strong because demand is still outpacing supply in many areas. While the rest of the country has experienced fluctuating sales, the median sale price in our MLS as of April 2023, $225,000 with 1,294 single-family homes for sale. In April 2026, the median sale price was $270,000 with 1,542 single-family homes for sale. While it may not feel like it, inventory has increased since 2023. According to the Realtors Confidence Index, agents across the country are seeing steady buyer interest, but also ongoing challenges. Looking ahead, most forecasts suggest modest price growth and continued tight inventory. We're not seeing a crash, we're seeing a rebalancing. In the Western New York market in 2023, our average days on market was 9. 2026, it is 10. We have not seen a significant rebalance locally. While forecasters were hopeful for a robust market in 2026, the outlook has dampened. Mortgage rates have not declined as much as we hoped, new home sales are down, and job gains haven't been as positive as predicted. Fuel and food prices are affecting everyone. First-time buyers are facing some of the biggest challenges in today's market. Many are coming from renting or living with family and are struggling to compete due to rising prices and higher upfront costs. Affordability remains the number one factor limiting buyers from completing a transaction. Baby boomers continue to hold the largest market share of buyers, which makes sense to me as they hold the greatest population numbers. One of the biggest shifts is the age of the typical home buyer. The median age has increased, showing that younger buyers are facing more barriers to entry. At the same time, buyers are staying closer to home and purchasing within shorter distances than ever before. Achieving the American dream of home ownership remains elusive for many. First-time buyers are facing some of the biggest challenges in today's market. Many are coming from renting or living with family and are struggling to compete due to rising prices and higher upfront costs. Affordability remains the number one factor limiting buyers from completing a transaction. The makeup of first-time home buyers has changed dramatically since 1985. Back then, the majority were married couples, making up nearly 3/4 of all first-time buyers, while single buyers were a much smaller share. Fast forward to 2025, and that dominance has declined. Married couples now represent closer to half of first-time buyers. At the same time, single women have consistently become a larger presence in the market, now significantly outpacing single men. We're also seeing growth in unmarried couples purchasing together, as well as a small but notable rise in roommates or friends pooling resources to enter the market. These shifts reflect both affordability pressures and changing social norms around home ownership. Another growing trend is multi-generational home buying. While it was relatively uncommon in the 1980s, today a noticeable share of first-time buyers are purchasing homes with parents, adult children, or extended family members. This shift is largely driven by affordability challenges, caregiving needs, and cultural preferences. Buyers are increasingly pooling financial resources, sharing expenses, and looking for homes that can accommodate multiple generations under one roof, making flexibility and space more important than ever in today's market. The baby bust refers to declining birth rates in the United States over the past 2 decades. Fewer births today mean fewer households forming in the future, which directly impacts the pool of first-time homebuyers. This demographic shift is one reason we're seeing an older, smaller, and more diverse group of buyers entering the market, and it will continue to shape housing demand for years to come. The location of homes purchased has shifted over time, with suburban areas continuing to dominate as the most common choice for buyers. However, there has been increased interest in small towns and rural areas in recent years, driven by affordability, lifestyle preferences, and remote work flexibility. Urban purchases remain important but represent a smaller share compared to past decades, while resort and vacation markets have seen periodic growth as buyers seek second homes or investment opportunities. Overall, buyers today are prioritizing space, value, and flexibility when choosing where to live. COVID impacted our housing market, and its effects are still being felt. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Americans dramatically changed their moving patterns, with the average relocation distance jumping to nearly 50 miles as many people sought more space, remote work flexibility, and lower density living. Prior to the pandemic, the typical move was closer to 15 miles, reflecting more local relocations. As the housing market and workplaces stabilized, migration trends have normalized, with today's average move distance settling back to around 20 miles, still slightly higher than pre-pandemic levels, but far below the COVID-era surge. The biggest challenges limiting today's first-time homebuyers continue to center around affordability and market uncertainty. About 25% cite housing affordability as the top barrier to purchasing a home, while 19% are delaying decisions in anticipation of lower interest rates. Another 17% point to the ongoing lack of housing inventory, as limited options continue to drive competition and pricing pressures in many markets. While affordability and inventory challenges dominate headlines, buyers say the biggest obstacle is still finding the right home. First-time buyers also report significant challenges understanding the process, navigating paperwork, and saving for a down payment, reinforcing the critical role realtors play in education, guidance, and advocacy throughout the transaction. Even with more technology, apps, and online home search tools available than ever before, realtors continue to play a critical role in the home buying process. In fact, 92% of consumers still choose to work with a real estate professional. Buyers and sellers continue to value expert guidance, negotiation skills, market knowledge, and the human connection that technology simply can't replace. The tools may have changed, but the importance of trusted advisors in real estate remains as strong as ever. Despite all the industry changes, the down payment percentages remain relatively unchanged since 1989. Saving for a down payment continues to be one of the biggest hurdles for first-time homebuyers. Rising home prices, higher rents, student loan debt, and everyday living expenses have made it increasingly difficult for buyers to save enough money to enter the market. Many buyers are relying on gifts from family, down payment assistance programs, or spending additional years saving before they can purchase their first home. Another major shift in today's housing market is the rise of cash buyers. Back in 2003, only about 7% of home purchases were made with cash. Today, that number has climbed to roughly 26%. Cash buyers often have a significant advantage in competitive markets because their offers can close faster and avoid financing contingencies, creating additional challenges for many first-time and financed buyers trying to compete. First-time buyers are also changing how they come up with their down payments. The percentage using traditional savings has dropped to about 59%, reflecting how difficult it has become to save in today's economy. At the same time, more buyers are tapping into financial assets such as investments or retirement funds to help make homeownership possible. Interestingly, assistance from family members has remained relatively stable, showing that buyers are increasingly looking for creative ways to bridge the affordability gap on their own. The median length of home ownership is at an all-time high of 11 years. FSBO sales are at an all-time low of 5%. Today's homebuyer population continues to become more diverse, reflecting broader demographic changes across the country. While white buyers still make up the largest share of purchasers, we are seeing growing participation among Hispanic, Black, Asian, and multiracial buyers. These trends highlight the importance of expanding access to homeownership opportunities and ensuring that the dream of homeownership remains attainable for people from all backgrounds and communities. A snapshot of homeownership trends across different racial and ethnic groups in the United States. The data highlights both the diversity within today's housing market and the ongoing opportunities to expand access to homeownership for future generations. Let's be the agents of change and make housing opportunities available to all that seek it. The homebuyer market continues to grow more diverse, creating opportunities for realtors to better understand the unique needs, challenges, and goals of today's buyers. The type of financing used and the size of down payments can vary significantly across racial and ethnic groups. Some buyers are more likely to rely on low down payment loan programs or financial assistance, while others may have greater access to savings or family support. These differences highlight the important role that financing options, education, and access to resources play in expanding homeownership opportunities. Many of the most effective ways to prepare a home for sale are also some of the simplest. Cleanliness, presentation, and small cosmetic improvements can have a major impact on buyer perception. Helping buyers emotionally connect with a property often starts with creating a space that feels open, inviting, and well-maintained. HGTV and real estate shows have definitely changed consumer expectations. Buyers and sellers often come into the process expecting quick timelines, dramatic transformations, and picture-perfect homes. Our role as realtors is to bring that back to reality, helping clients understand true market conditions, realistic renovation costs, and what actually matters when buying or selling a home. The biggest factor limiting buyers from completing a transaction continues to be affordability. Rising home prices and higher mortgage rates remain major challenges across the country. In many parts of the nation, inventory levels have started to improve, making the lack of available homes somewhat less of a factor. However, here in New York, limited inventory continues to be a significant challenge, keeping competition strong and making it difficult for many buyers to find suitable homes. As we look ahead, one thing is clear: the real estate market continues to evolve. Demographics, affordability, financing, technology, and consumer expectations are all reshaping the way people buy and sell homes. Through all of these changes, realtors remain a trusted resource, helping clients navigate challenges, understand opportunities, and make informed decisions in an ever-changing market. Thank you for your time today.